The park was unusually busy for a Tuesday afternoon. Kids ran between swings and slides, laughter cutting through the hum of traffic beyond the trees. Daniel sat on a wooden bench near the sandbox, his eyes following his 6-year-old son, Leo, who was deeply focused on building something that looked like a castle but might collapse at any second. Daniel smiled softly. Moments like these were rare now. Between work, school runs, and the constant weight of being both mother and father, quiet afternoons felt like stolen treasures. That was when he heard her voice. "Act like you love me, please." Daniel looked up, startled. The woman stood just a few feet away, her hands clenched together, eyes wide with panic rather than flirtation. She was beautiful in a tired, human way, messy ponytail, faint dark circles under her eyes, a jacket clearly borrowed from another season. Before he could respond, she leaned closer and whispered, "Please, just for a minute." Daniel followed her gaze and noticed a man across the path, tall and well-dressed, staring directly at her. His jaw was tight, his posture rigid. Something about the look made Daniel uneasy. "I'm sorry," Daniel said carefully. "I think you might have the wrong." "He won't leave me alone," she interrupted, her voice trembling now. "If he thinks I'm with someone, he might finally stop." Daniel hesitated. Every instinct told him to avoid trouble. He had a son to protect, a fragile routine he couldn't afford to disrupt. But then Leo looked up from the sandbox and waved at him, grinning. And Daniel saw something in the woman's eyes that felt familiar, fear mixed with exhaustion, the kind that comes from being worn down rather than surprised. Slowly, Daniel stood up. "Okay," he said quietly, "but just acting." She nodded rapidly, relief flooding her face. Daniel placed a gentle arm around her shoulders, keeping enough distance to feel respectful but close enough to look convincing. When the man across the path saw them, his expression darkened. He lingered for a moment, then turned and walked away. The woman let out a shaky breath she'd clearly been holding for far too long. "Thank you," she said. "I'm so sorry to drag you into this." Daniel shrugged lightly. "I've had worse days." She laughed, a soft, broken sound, and for the first time some of the tension left her shoulders. "My name's Maya," she said. "Daniel." They stood there awkwardly until Leo ran over, sand clinging to his jeans. "Dad, who's she?" Daniel glanced at Maya, unsure what to say, but she crouched down to Leo's level with a warm smile. "I'm Maya," she said. "Your dad helped me out." Leo studied her seriously, then nodded. "Okay." He grabbed Daniel's hand again. "Can we get ice cream now?" Daniel chuckled. "Guess that's decided." Maya smiled at the sight of it, but something flickered across her face, something sad. "You're a good dad," she said quietly. Daniel didn't respond right away. Compliments still felt strange after years of criticism and silence. "I try," he said finally. They walked together toward the small ice cream cart near the park entrance, talking about nothing important at first. The weather, Leo's favorite flavor, the ridiculous price of cones. But beneath the casual conversation, Daniel sensed something deeper stirring, like two people standing at the edge of stories they weren't ready to tell yet. They sat on another bench, Leo happily smeared with chocolate, while Maya stared out at the park, lost in thought. Daniel noticed her fingers shaking slightly. "You don't have to explain anything," he said gently. "But are you okay?" Maya swallowed. "I will be," she said, "eventually." She didn't say more, and Daniel didn't push. But as the sun dipped lower and the park lights flickered on, he realized something unexpected. He didn't want the moment to end. And neither, it seemed, did she. They exchanged a hesitant goodbye when Leo started yawning and Maya walked away with a small wave. Daniel watched her disappear down the path, feeling a strange tightness in his chest. He told himself it was just adrenaline, just coincidence. But deep down, he knew better. The next time Daniel saw Maya, it wasn't by chance. She was waiting near the same bench, holding two coffees, looking nervous in a way that made her seem younger. "I hope this isn't weird," she said quickly. I didn't get to properly thank you." Daniel smiled. "Coffee's never weird." They talked longer this time. Maya told him about her job at a marketing firm, about the coworker who refused to accept that she wasn't interested, how she'd tried ignoring him, reporting him, changing schedules. Nothing worked. Daniel listened quietly, anger simmering beneath the surface. "You didn't deserve that," he said simply. Maya looked at him, surprised. "Most people tell me I should have been firmer, or nicer, or quieter." Daniel shook his head. "You should have been safe." Something shifted between them after that. They began meeting in the park more often, sometimes with Leo, sometimes without. They talked about loss, about the way life reroutes you without asking permission. Daniel told her about his wife, about the illness that came too fast, about learning to braid hair for school plays and cry silently in the shower so Leo wouldn't hear. Maya told him about growing up feeling invisible, about loving too deeply and being punished for it, about how exhausting it was to keep pretending she was fine. One evening, as the sky turned pink and orange, Maya grew quiet. "That day in the park," she said softly, "when I asked you to act like you loved me, I didn't mean it like that, but a part of me wished it was real, even just for a second." Daniel felt his breath catch. He'd been telling himself this was friendship, comfort, nothing more. He reached for her hand slowly, giving her time to pull away. She didn't. "I didn't act," he said. Her eyes filled with tears, but this time they weren't from fear. Love didn't arrive like a grand confession or a dramatic kiss. It came quietly, in shared mornings and patient evenings, in Leo's laughter and Maya's careful steps into their world. It came in trust rebuilt piece by piece. And sometimes, when life felt overwhelming, Maya would smile at Daniel and say, half joking, half serious, "Hey, act like you love me." Daniel would pull her close, kiss her forehead, and answer honestly every time, "I don't have to act."